Yes, buckle your seatbelt.
Hello all, welcome back for another Rambling Canucks Roundtable Reviews. Today we're going to review TOS, The Naked Time. And with me today is Vance Major from No Budget Productions. How you doing, Vance?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. So, what did you think of the episode?
I liked it, man. It was a fun episode. I think this embodies what TOS was all about. It had a little fun, had a little excitement, had wonderful singing, had Spock and Kirk bromance, had McCoy, searching for shit, had Scotty cutting through shit, had planets rotating, had time travel. It was an all-around good, fun adventure. So didn't take it too seriously. And then it had some weird, wacko science doohickeys that was making the crew go all crazy. So it's all cool because they were all cray-cray.
Yeah, just a little bit. They were just a little nuts.
Yeah, I dug it.
Although I do find it funny that the way that they neutralize a crazy Irishman is to send in the crazy Scot. That doesn't have overtones at all. Oh boy. So basically they go down to the planet at the beginning. Spock and the Irish crew member beam down. And I don't know, what did you think of their environmental suits? Not all that great for protection, eh? Especially that helmet.
Well, I mean, if you can just yank off your glove and start touching shit, that's, whoever designed it's like, come on, man, really? Especially with what we know with, Enterprise's environmental suits and whatnot. It's just kind of like, come on, man. I mean, I guess you could say, well, it's a hazmat type suit, but I mean, even at that, it's like I wouldn't even trust that to get
a plastic bag over their head.
And that's I mean, it reminds me of like what you would see like on like Radioactive Man in The Simpsons. Like it's not very protective. Especially if you can just yank shit off and again start touching that frozen wasteland. Not very impressive. I mean, I'm sure at the time it was like, whoa, that's really cool, but no, it's not too cool.
Well, my biggest part is not even the fact you can take the gloves off. It's the fact that you beam down, you're in this hazmat suit that isn't airtight.
Right.
The bag or the helmet part, it's not connected to the suit.
No. The PPE is not there. It wouldn't protect you. It wouldn't protect you against COVID.
No, it wouldn't even protect you against the common cold.
No.
This is purely an aesthetic.
Yeah, a 5-year-old with the sniffles would get through this thing. So it's no. I mean, it's. You could tell they had like little budget and they were trying their heart with it. But I think if they had taken just a little bit more TLC with this and, maybe just, hey, let's slow down on the photography and not shown that it's not really connected, it would
let's tuck it in a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's, that was kind of unforgivable. The fact that he could just yank his glove off and start touching stuff. I mean, that was dumb, but I mean, you had to figure out some way to get it
to infect the crew. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, I would have been like, maybe he accidentally cut the glove off or something, but I mean, I guess to hide the fact that it's just with a little bit of changing the script, like, hey, he cut his glove and he accidentally touched the thing and then decontaminated on the way back. With just a little bit of tweaking to the script, you could have made that work with not much of any change. Hey, yeah, he cut the glove, but we're not scanning anything, and that might have been why Kirk said, okay, hey, send him to sickbay just to be on the safe side. I mean, just change that one element. Wouldn't have changed much of anything, and it would have made more sense than, hey, let me yank my glove off and then put it back on, and then I mean, that's so un-Starfleet-like, especially when you're out in the unknown, and these people are showering in their clothes and they died mysteriously. It's like, let's just yank all our clothes off and, you know, I mean, why not skinny dip in this whole thing? I mean, just come on, you know, fuck off with that, you know. It
was sense, just like, how dumb are you, boy?
Yeah, just like let's play with fire here, you know. I mean,
and then so they beam back up to the ship. Of course, everybody starts getting infected one by one, and we get singing Irishman. Oh joy!
Before we get to that part, like, I love the fact that they killed himself with a butter knife. Like,
yeah, like, of all the damn things, I'm gonna kill myself with a butter knife.
The only thing that would have made it better is if it would have been plastic. Like,
yeah, like KFC style. Yeah, bloody hell.
Or it would have made it better if it would have been a spork.
Yeah. Just like, of all the stupid things that this guy's got at his reach is a butter knife.
That makes me want to write that scene for one of my films.
There we go. Guy's gonna kill himself with a spork. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, seriously. Like, I'm surprised he cut himself at all with a butter knife. Like,
but I mean, think about that. You're this actor, dude. You know, you're in the '60s, and you're like, this is your only claim to fame, and you're going in and you're competing with guys who's been in Macbeth and King Arthur's Court and Hamlet and Julius Caesar and these people are, you know, I died by the knight's blade and all this, and I died with I've got, you know, dueling experience and I killed myself with a butter knife. Like,
you did what to who now?
Jesus Christ! Like, they didn't do this guy any favors, you know.
No, he got the short end of the stick on that one. At least Sulu had a sword.
But I do like his. I do like the desperation he gave he had with, you know, man, we shouldn't be out here. You know, what are we doing? Like, we just. I liked that because I felt like that was interesting. So they played that part well. And they're watching this, having, you know, a few weeks ago we watched The Naked Now from The Next Generation.
Yeah.
And God, I didn't realize that they really did rip off almost line for line a few segments.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, almost to the point of like, God, this is plagiarism. And
not the pleasurable kind either. Just kind of like, well, that was blatant as hell.
Yeah, you just lifted that right out of that. You know, I mean, I love The Naked Now. It still remains one of my favorites, even though I look at this, I'm like, well, it's, you know, I mean, I'd watched this as a kid several times. I watched this as an adult several times. I mean, I love this episode of TOS, and, you know, I've watched that as Next Generation, you know, several times. But watching this critically and actually paying attention to every single thing instead of just the highlights, and I'm like, oh my God, that line was given to him. Oh, that line was given to him. Oh, that line was given to him. Oh my God. Like, you almost want to put it side by side and go, holy moly, did they not have an original idea in that episode? You know,
yeah. Well, at least, you know, in this one, Wesley Crusher wasn't on the bridge. So there's a bonus.
I swear to God, one day we're going to get through an entire episode of this without bashing good old Wesley Crusher. You know, I'm going to send you a Wesley Crusher action figure in the mail. I swear to God. One of those Wesley Crusher's bowling shirts. Anyway.
Yeah, but so they've the crazy Irishman locks him out of the engineering. He shuts down the engines. They're plummeting towards the planet, and of course they send Scotty in to, you know, break down this door and get in here so we can, you know, pull the ship out. And they're gonna do a cold start to restart the engines, right? And this leads to time travel.
Yes.
Because of course it does.
I think the only reason that Kirk was like, fuck it, let's do time travel, is because he's like, you know, Spock just bitch slapped me and I want to get rid of this so it never existed. So
yeah, exactly.
That is the only because he cannot live in a timeline where his BFF like just made him utterly his bitch. So he's like, nope, we got to redo that. We got to 3 days, perfect. Let's do it.
Yeah,
that never happened.
Reboot. Factory reboot.
Yep, Spock. It didn't happen. And Spock's like, that's logical, dude. That's it. Because dude, it was getting hot and heavy in there. Because it was cat and mouse. It was. I now know why there is like fan fiction about those two, because it's like, Kirk smacks him, and then smacks him again, and then smacks him real hard, and then Spock's like, dude, I ain't having none of that, and he's like, bitch slap across that table, and then Kirk's like, he's like, whoa, sucker, what are you doing? And he's like, I was like, whoa, whoa, like I was imagining like shirts flying off, like what is this? Like that's where.
It's just
creepy. Yeah, this is creepy.
Yeah. This episode, it's great. It's kind of funny, corny as hell, and we have we have crewman Dum Dum, and because we've got to have a crewman Dum Dum, and then McCoy figures it out and. Cures everybody. I did like Kirk in this because Kirk, even though he's infected and he manages to pull the resolve just long enough, just to hold on long enough.
Well, I tell you what I do like. In all serious, I like the vulnerability sides that you see. Of course, with Riley singing, that's funny. Sulu with the sword, that's funny. But I do love the fact that Spock is sitting there and, he's kind of like, dude, I've never told my mother I love her.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's like, as we as people, a lot of times we have regrets of things we've never done. And Spock, as a very logical person, he doesn't have regrets because he's very much like, this is not logical, so I'm not even going to think about that. He doesn't even allow himself to go into those places, those dark places where you and I would, go to. So this is him for the first time, accessing those places. And I love that. And then Nurse Chapel expressing herself where she's like, I love you. I love you, Mr. Spock. And I think that's legit. I don't think that's the virus speaking. I think that's genuinely her. Because it's a moment of passion. I genuinely believe that that's how she feels. And I never understood why, with the JJ films, why they never had Spock end up with Chapel, especially by that third one when he breaks up with Uhura. Like, why didn't you have him be like, okay, well, got rid of Uhura, so I'm gonna go with Chapel? Like, dude, that would have been perfect, because like that, they had that in the series. Like, that was, I don't understand. That was such a missed opportunity, because I really always wondered, like, man, you're such an idiot because Nurse Chapel has the hots for you. Like, oh, dude. Such a great character.
Well, probably to explain that is JJ never saw those episodes.
Shenanigans. He's the greatest Star Trek fan ever, especially with Chewie and Luke.
Oh yeah.
Wait till you get those in the 79 episodes.
Oh. Ouch. Head hurts.
Yeah. But no, I found, for me, I love those vulnerable moments of these characters. I do like that Kirk was able to hold on, and then Spock, even though he's got the virus and whatnot, like he does, pull back and go, wait, this thing will work. Yeah. And they both kind of pull each other back from that abyss.
They're able to overcome it.
Yeah,
and then that speaks a lot to their character.
Yeah, their friendship. Not only that they're both at the top of this chain of command, but their friendship for each other. It's strength. I think that's one of the strengths of the show. Scotty and McCoy, they're not affected by this virus. They never get the chance to be affected by this virus. I think it would have been funny, or I think it would have been fun to see Scotty or Bones affected. But flip side of the coin, later on, that's why we get City on the Edge of Forever, Bones acting all crazy and wonky, and then we see Scotty drunk on several occasions. So I think that's
synthetic scotch, synthetic
right.
Commanders.
Right. But no, what was your favorite part of this episode? Because I assume you didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. I thought it was comedically comical in certain spots and serious when it had to be.
Yeah.
I think my favorite moment would have to be probably just Kirk throughout, from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just the way he handled himself. Everything else is falling apart, and he's, you see the struggle even before he gets infected of, I've got to pull, this is all on me. I have to keep everything together. I have to, and then when he gets infected, you hear about, this is my ship. I'll never lose her. And, you see that feeling you get throughout the show manifest into emotion.
Well, and the thing I appreciate is when he's on the bridge and he tells Uhura, can you shut that off? And she snaps at him.
Yeah. And,
he snaps at her first and she snaps back at him, and they both kind of catch each other in that moment of like, because neither one at that point, neither one of them are affected. And to me, I feel like that's a very realistic portrayal of like two people in a stressful moment who, of course they're friends, but they're co-workers, chain of command type situation. But it's, they both understand, hey, this is a tense moment. We're both stressed. It's okay. Let's breathe for a second. It's okay. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's something where like she's not penalized, he's not condemned. It's not an easy moment to pull off, where it would be very easy to portray him as, hey, it's okay, Lieutenant, we're all in this together. But it's not done that way. And it makes him look like a very strong commander. At the same point, he's still in authority, even though even though she clearly is like, motherfucker, get off my nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I thought Kirk throughout was the best part.
Yeah, no, he very much was. I didn't realize this when I was a kid, and I was very turned off of TOS as a kid, because I thought it was very corny. But one of the things that I've appreciated watching this series with you and Captain Trek is, Kirk has been a very strong leader in these shows, and that's something, watching it as a kid, I really didn't appreciate. I did watching Star Trek 2 through 4 as a kid, and then Star Trek 6. But watching the original series, I consider I never really gave it a chance. Or I would only watch like the highlight shows that I only cared about, and missing most of them. I'm starting to see that, Kirk really is kind of a strong leader. I see why people appreciated that. So, and it was very apparent in this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. So, wrapping this one up, what would your grade be out of 10?
Honestly, I'd have to say it's probably a 9.
Okay.
The thing about it, like it does have its flaws. But I think we're starting to get outside of the, for me at least, I'm starting to get outside of the, hey, it's the first season forgiveness type phase, and we're starting to get on the, okay, we know who these characters are. We're starting to get to know more of these characters, and the stories are starting to stand on their own. So as for episodes, how are they individually? It's no longer, I'm starting to be more forgiving. How are they as episodes, and are they just good episodes? And again, this is one of the highlight. Even as a non-TOS fan, as a kid, this is one of those ones where if it was on, I'd be like, yeah, I'll watch it. So for me, this is one of the better ones, because I know that I can be pretty harsh on TOS, and it's not quite a 10 for me, because there are some moments of like, I don't really like the when they're painting in the corridor and the guy's just laughing at the paintbrush, like,
Yeah.
that annoys me more than anything. So just for that, that's kind of off-putting. But I think 9 or 9.5, but 9 I think is pretty high for me for this series. So it's
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go more of a 6.5. It kept me entertained, made me chuckle a couple of times, and Kirk was strong throughout. So I'll go with 6.5.
You needed the Wesley Crusher in this to make it a 10.
Oh no, that would have made that a 4. But no, but all in all, it was all right. It was a decent episode, and
the thing with this episode, and a lot of the things with TOS, is I think this one still holds up. Watching it from a today's lens, some of those TOS episodes don't, and I think that's difficult. I know there are some diehard Trekkies that are like, no, TOS lives forever, and to me, I just don't think that's true. Just like TNG, I think some of those episodes don't quite hold up. But I think this episode is one of those where it's like, it's like Twilight Zone. Some of those episodes hold up more than others, and this is just a really good story, I think. And you really get to know the characters. So,
yeah, I can definitely see that point of view. All right, well, thank you all for joining us for another Roundtable Reviews. Next week will be TNG, and then the following week will be TOS. We're going to try rotating these out. Once a week, we'll do a different show. So one week it'll be TOS, next week it'll be TNG, just to kind of change things up and make it a little bit more fresh, so it's not 3 Star Trek shows right in a row. Gonna change it up a little bit, make Tuesday TOS TNG, Wednesday of course will always be Enterprise, and we're just gonna have fun with it and see what happens. Please do feel free to leave a comment, please share, like if you like the video. And like I say, leave a comment. And until next time, take her easy, folks.
And watch